What's up, you guys? It's VDX. SNK has given me early access to the latest build of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and that is the one with none other than the 4th DLC, Chun Li, voiced by Jenny Kwan in English. What I have for you today is some early access gameplay. We're going to run through her move list and compare it to her Street Fighter 6 iteration, and I want to attempt the famous Daigo parry, Evil Moment 37, using the defensive mechanics in City of the Wolves, Just Defend and Hyper Defend. First thing I wanted to show you is that the title screen is updated, obviously, for Chun Li. There's some new artwork. I can't actually highlight them because they're not all accessible in this build. But yeah, I think it's always cool to see alternate art of characters, especially the new ones that are being added. Now, this build doesn't have any combo trials or any basic tutorials, so I would be a bit lost trying to figure out Chun Li combos. So instead, I'm going to show you some gameplay. But before we do that, I want to just give a little City of the Wolves primer for people who don't know how the game works. If you do know how the game works, feel free to skip to the timestamp and just watch the gameplay. But I know a lot of my main audience doesn't really play 2D games or know how City of the Wolves works, so I figured I'd explain that real quick. Okay, City of the Wolves fundamental mechanics as quickly as possible. SPG, this is basically like a rage mode. You deal more damage, your meter gain is sped up, your overheat rate is slowed down, so you overheat less quickly, and you have access to a technique called a hidden gear. This is Chun Li's hidden gear. It's like a super, right? Only available in this rage state, in SPG. Chun Li's hidden gear is inspired by multiple iterations of Street Fighter. So not just Street Fighter 6, but they wanted to kind of draw upon elements from the character throughout the entire series. Anyways, what makes SPG unique is that you can choose at which part of your HP bar that it goes. Okay, so for me, I have SPG active right away at the start of the round. Chun Li on the right side isn't active until her HP is about halfway. So if I hit with this hidden gear again, or if I just do enough lows to get her in that HP range, SPG in. Now she gets the benefits, okay? The lower you set your SPG, so if you set it down to that last part of the health bar, that's called final ratio, right? You can see it's at the far side of the HP bar there. If you set it there, you get the most benefit. More damage increase, you overheat even more slowly, you get more EX moves, basically. The last benefit of SPG is you have access to your Rev Blow. This is an armored strike, kind of like a Drive Impact from Street Fighter 6. It's super good, and you can do it in the air. Deciding when to put your SPG as preference, I know Diaphone has recommended that beginners put it at the very beginning of their gauge, so you have access to the benefits just right away. Now, talking about overheating, this is a key mechanic in this game, kind of like the drive gauge in Street Fighter 6, right? Doing EX moves like this will spend your rev gauge and eventually you'll overheat. Blocking attacks also increases your heat gauge, kind of like how if you block attacks in Street Fighter 6, your drive gauge goes down. Once you're overheated, you lose access to things like Rev Blow, right, if you're an SPG, but also you'll notice the bar beneath the HP gauge starts going down if you block. If it's reduced to 0, you get guard crushed. Right, so there's this whole metagame around managing your rev gauge, managing like how overheated you are to do your offensive moves. But also you don't want to block too much necessarily because then you'll be overheated. And as the attacker, you actually get your gauge reduced for landing strikes. Right? So this seems like a really aggressive game, right? Like very, very focused on attacking, but that's only half the story. What makes this mechanic so interesting is the defensive side of things too. And I didn't talk about this as much when I covered Ken, but this is a great opportunity to talk about it. So I'm going to set the bot to do Just Defend and Hyper Defend. These are defensive techniques that allow you to cool down for having good defense. And it's very exciting. So you'll notice that the Chun Li is just defending my attacks and is not taking any overheat gauge. You can also just defend multiple strikes in a row. And this is a really cool mechanic because it functions kind of like a parry. You tap back as the hit is coming. And for multiple hits, you have to hit back with each one. This includes supers and specials that are multi-hit. So if I do this super, for example, you can just defend each hit of the fireball. Wow, that is still going. So Just Defend is a crucial mechanic because it prevents you from overheating and you actually restore some HP, right? There's a lot of benefits to doing this, but you do have to call out whether it's a mid or a low properly. There's a lot of skill expression in knowing how to defend properly. The other type of defense here is hyper defense, which can only be done from a blocking state, right? And this is done by tapping forward. It's also more strict than doing a just defense. So these defensive mechanics make it actually way more interesting than just swinging at your opponent and trying to overwhelm them and their rev gauge, making them overheat, right? So a lot of options in City of the Wolves, but those are the main ones. SPG, the rev gauge, and then your regular meter beneath that. So we talked about how Just Defend and Hyper Defend are kind of like parries in Street Fighter Third Strike, which invites the question, can you do the Daigo parry in City of the Wolves? Let's give it a try. And we got it. Now, you'll notice that the combo's a little different from Daigo's combo in Evo Moment 37. And the reason is, if I just defend the entire Chun Li super, I can't jump at the end to get this parry up here, right? You have to just, well, no matter what you do, Ken will stay standing. You'll also notice that you can kind of mash out the just defend here. It's not as strict as the actual Daigo parry. Now, in an actual game of City of the Wolves, block strings can have lows in them, which require you to just defend low, right? But because Chun-Li's super is all mids, I can just mash back. I can even mash down back. Like, I can mash crouching guard to get the successful parry. And you can see Ken stands up and crouches in between each hit. So I had the Chun-Li bot jump back since I can't get this jump in order to get this combo. And I'm still messing up the combo. The combo's hard for me. But Ken can only cancel super after Rev Blow Shoryuken or EX Shoryuken, right? So hitting both buttons at the same time lets him get this super. Anyways, fun to recreate a little bit of fighting game history in City of the Wolves. And it's nice that this is something that you can do, although you can't get the exact same punish that Daigo got. So I haven't gotten the chance to actually watch any Chun-Li in City of the Wolves yet. I've only tried her out in practice mode a little bit, so I'm pretty excited to see actual like gameplay of the character, not just me noodling around with my limited understanding of the game. So Chun-Li versus Ken, we've been seeing this for a few years. She's chosen SPG in the middle, but Ken has chosen Excel ratio, so he has it already. Okay, nice anti-air. Block string. Chun-Li spaces out, and then his forward heavy punch. Okay, wild punish. That's like a whiff punish or punish counter in Street Fighter. This combo's going crazy. Spinning. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you can get a lot more combos, especially off of a wild punish. She's poking with forward light punch. Okay, crouching medium kick confirm, or I guess crouching heavy kick in this game. Wild punish for Ken. Now Chun-Li's in SPG, and if you pay attention to their rev meter, she's cooling down as they walk around, right? Both around 0%. Alright, spacing out. Nice just defend in the open. Whiff punish, confirm into the level 1, into the air combo, and air lightning kicks to end after the multiple stomps in the air. Look at that again. This is cool. Jump cancel, multiple stomps in the air, and then air legs. Okay. I knew I was missing something with her combos because these are way cooler than the ones I was attempting in practice mode. And this remix of Ken's theme, I'm personally a big fan of. Okay, Ken again starting with SPG, poking with standing heavy kick, just defend. Okay, air to air counter hit. Jinrai spaces out. Ken getting a nasty combo here, and he's revving up. You see how his gauge is increasing? He's doing a ton of EX moves or rev moves in this game. Nice overhead into the level 1. As he walks forward, his heat decreases. It also decreases over time. I said heat. It's rev gauge. Okay, back throw. Putting herself in the corner, but dashes up. Jump over, cross up. Confirming into... Okay, EX Hasanshu's. Tensho kicks, level 1. These combos are really cool once you do get the opening. Whiff punish. Oh, he did the Daigo parry. Okay. Okay. Crouching kick Shoryuken into the level 2. That was a good choice. That was a good... I want to see that again. So, As you saw when I tried this, Ken can't jump to parry the last hit, right? So instead, they did a modified version of the combo. He does crouching heavy kick, Shoryuken, break into Shoryuken into the level 2. Now, did he break that first Shoryuken? Let's take a look. Shoryuken. Yeah, he does 2 Shoryukens. The first one, he holds the rev button to stop it. And then EX Shoryukens again into the level 2. That was cool. That was sweet. A little callback to Evo Moment 37. Okay, run up, crouching heavy kick into legs. Poking with a heavy punch. Okay, counter hit jab. Jump over, gets jabbed out of it. Crouching heavy kick into legs. That looks like there's no drive rush in this game, right? So it's not crouching kick into drive rush into combo. It's just confirming with the special legs. Jump over, cross up, wild punish. What's gonna happen? Okay, EX Hasanshu, Tensho kick, spinning bird kick. Nice combo. These combos are cool. Wow. I think he just did hyper defend into guard cancel. I have to look at that back. Run up jab, block string. Did that jump over the low into level 2? I gotta see that again. There was a lot happening, and I'm not a City of the Wolves player. All right, what happened here? So from this combo, cross up, EX legs, EX Hasanshu, Tensho kick, spinning bird kick. Nice. Just defend Shoryuken into super. Look at this. Just defend. Guard cancel Shoryuken into level 2. Now Chun-Li's an SPG. Increase damage. Jumps over the low. Wild punish. Confirm into the level 2. That was tight. That was tight. I like that they put the Daigo parry in there. That was really cool. Now, I want to watch another one. Disclaimer, I don't know Hotaru at all. I'm not going to pretend to. But we have seen a bit of what Chun-Li can do. Let's pay closer attention to what she's doing. You know, use her as our point of reference. It was interesting how it felt like Chun-Li in the last set didn't go into... Did that just reflect the fireball? Didn't go into overheat very much. Multiple EX moves. Maybe it's because the SPG... Oh, no, that doesn't matter. SPG being later doesn't reduce meter spend or, I guess, how much you overheat until you're actually in SPG. Okay, jump over the fireball. Reducing a ton of her rev gauge as she gets hit. That's a good thing. Remember, you don't want to overheat. The stomp in the air hit overhead, I guess. Multiple stomps. Air legs cancel into fireball super. Whoa. I want to see that again. I want to see that again. It happened so quickly. Jump in, right? Spinning bird kick. Hotaru's in SPG. That hit overhead. No, it was a counter hit. The stomp in the air. 3 stomps into air legs. That is... Her air combos are really, really cool. So I think that might be her thing, at least compared to Ken, right? Ken is doing like run cancels and like Shoryukens and stuff like that. Chun-Li is canceling multiple EX moves into the air, doing the air stomps, doing the target combo. Well, I haven't seen the target combo yet, but I have to assume because it's in there. Okay. Just defend on one fireball, but otherwise gets counter hit. About half HP, 24%. With punish with the crouching heavy kick. Now she's revving up. Okay. Successful throw reduces the rev gauge by 7%. Every step she takes forward is reducing that gauge. Jump in successful. Okay. This is doing a ton of damage. No, but it does kill. I was staring at Hotaru's rev gauge. If you run that back, look real quick. Before this combo starts, Hotaru's at 25%, right? But she spends more to get this opening. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you finish with the kill. But I'm getting a lot of drive gauge similarities, right? Even though the number's going up and then you go into overheat instead of like reducing the gauge and going into burnout, it's looking pretty similar. And I think it's kind of cool that the rev gauge has like a number associated with it. I know that might seem like a tiny thing, but having a number associated with the decisions you make rather than estimating based on the gauge, I think it's a slightly different headspace. Okay, confirm with the overhead. That makes sense that you get a little confirm off of that. She feinted the legs. Did you see that? I'm running it back. Let's rewind real quick. Chun-Li does a block string and feints the legs and goes into a jab. This is like City of the Wolves stuff. You do a block string, try to bait, like, I guess the just defend or the hyper defend, and then go into a different block string. That's where, like, the offensive complexity, I think, comes from. Counter hit. Confirm. Oh my goodness. Is that her hidden gear? She's an SPG, so... Wall jump out of trouble. Doesn't confirm off of the crouching heavy kick. I want to say crouching medium kick because of Street Fighter. Shimmy on the throw. Wild punish. Cancel into Tensho. Oh my goodness. This combo is too much to notate. I have to go back and check that out. But she gets the hidden gear for lethal. That did like half HP and it's overkilling. Okay, that's pretty sweet. That combo was happening way too fast. Let's look at it again. So, okay, let's look at the combo again. Jump in, jab, shimmy the throw, legs, EX Tensho break, EX fireball into Hasanshu. Okay, that was like 3 moves. So canceling the EX Tensho kicks early with the break mechanic, EX fireball into EX Hasanshu, into EX legs, and then the hidden gear. And look at how much rev gauge that built up, right? She's at 0%, right? She's going to get 25 or 17% off of the first one. Okay, so she gets to 52% after doing all of those EX moves. And the reason it doesn't overheat her that much is because her SPG is at the end of her health bar. When you pick the final ratio, the end of the health bar SPG, one more time on that combo, you build less rev gauge even though she's doing all these cancels. If she did this with the standard or the Excel ratio, the start of the life bar SPG, she would have been close to overheat because I think it's like you get 4 EX moves or rev moves. Somebody who knows City of the Wolves in the comments can correct me on specifically how many she would get with that combo. But that was an insane sequence. Yeah, Chun Li looks so much cooler than I expected. I was really kind of not sure how she would play since she doesn't have her stance. The game flows a bit differently than Street Fighter. A lot of footsies, a lot of her poking with her stand jab from a distance. And now they have this character who is doing these air combos into multiple EX moves, which I haven't ever seen, like, Chun Li operate like that. I think the multiple EX moves, the multiple rev moves, is a City of the Wolves specific aesthetic, at least for me as someone who's new to Fatal Fury. So seeing these characters reimagined with that mechanic is pretty sweet. I'm pretty impressed with the gameplay. I didn't know what to expect, and I'm definitely leaving a happy viewer. So before this, I've never actually seen the City of the Wolves color edit feature in like full depth, and I'm really impressed with it now that I'm actually sitting down and looking at every option. Small things like being able to change the eye color, I think, make a big difference. In some games, they either give you preset colors that you can't really individually customize the options on, or you can't change eye colors altogether. So I kind of appreciate that even though you're stuck with the default costume as is, like you can't change the clothing pieces, that they give you almost full control over what color you choose. You could put patterns on top of it, and I think it's a great take on how you are able to customize a character. I feel like in most modern entries there are strange limitations on what colors you can pick, or you can only pick DLC costumes, and I kind of like this balance of, you know, you're restricted to the main costume, but you're given full flexibility over everything else. So there's no footage of the color edit for the alternate Chun-Li costume, the Legacy costume, but when the full DLC drops, I'm interested in checking out what the color edit is like for that version, just to see what options are there. Before we go, I wanted to just cover Chun-Li's move list. There's, again, a lot of inspiration from Street Fighter 6 and previous entries of Street Fighter, but because City of the Wolves is a 5-button game instead of a 6-button game, they've had to remap some of her inputs to match the Street Fighter iteration. So I have the main ones, like the unique ones, listed all below here. I'll just go through them top to bottom. First, Chun-Li's jab, her standing light punch, is similar to a Street Fighter 6 version in terms of animation, but it doesn't really go as far. This move was crazy in the past, but now it looks pretty normal, right? It hits pretty up close. Forward light punch, on the other hand, does have a bit more range, right? And this move doesn't exist, as far as I know, in Street Fighter 6. You'll notice this move looks familiar. Water Lotus Fist, down forward light punch. In Street Fighter 6, this is down forward heavy punch. Hake, back heavy punch. Same input here as Street Fighter 6. Jaw Strike, forward heavy punch. This is her standing heavy punch in Street Fighter 6. So again, slightly different here, but that's because City of the Wolves doesn't have a medium punch button. Down forward heavy punch. This is her crouch heavy punch. And you can see that you can hyper defend the second hit. That's pretty cool. Peacock Palm. Oh, sorry, that was Peacock Palm. Crane Kick, forward light kick. This is a unique move. Don't think it is in Street Fighter 6 at all. Down forward light kick is, on the other hand, a little cross up aerial kick, falling crane. Down forward light kick in this game was down forward heavy kick. Street Fighter 6. Yokusen kick, forward heavy kick. Same input here. This is her sweep, down forward heavy kick. Again, because there's no medium kick in this game, they have to map it differently. So her crouching heavy kick in this game is her crouching medium kick. In Street Fighter 6, her sweep is mapped to down forward. Ken is the same way. Yoso kick, air down light kick. This is like a stomp, and she can do it up to 3 times in the air, just like in Street Fighter 6. Right? And you can actually delay it too. So I'm jumping and I'm delaying the kicks and continuing it like a block string. The move list lists her air throw as a unique move also. Same animation as Street Fighter 6. She also has her same wall jump. So if I hit up forward in the corner, or in this case up back, I stick to the wall and I jump off. They talked about wanting to retain her mobility from Street Fighter, and normally I think of Chun-Li's mobility as being pretty crazy because her jump arc is wild in Street Fighter 6, but in City of the Wolves you can short hop already. There's already like a meta of changing your jump heights across all characters, so retaining her wall jump and then her mid-air block strings I think is pretty important to keeping that identity as well. Soaring Eagle Punches. This is an air target combo with her heavy punches. So I'm no combo expert, but I think how you can use this move is off of her super, you can jump in the air, do 2 stomps, and then the heavy punch target combo. Another thing that's important to note is that neutral jump buttons are different in this game, right? So this is neutral jump light kick. Forward jump light kick is a completely different button. Same thing with a medium kick, or heavy kick. This is neutral heavy kick, this is forward heavy kick. Jumping. Her punches function the same. This is neutral light punch, forward jumping light punch. You'll recognize this one from Street Fighter. And then forward jump heavy punch is the target combo we were talking about. And it's the same with neutral. For her specials, she has Kikoken. And what's interesting in this game is you don't have to charge it. It's a QCF input. So she's able to do this while presumably moving around, which I think is brand new. Lightning kicks is a QCF input, as we're used to. So if you want to do walking lightning kicks for some reason in this game, you have to do a full half circle to kind of, I guess, cleanse that forward input that would give you Tensho kicks. Spinning bird kick is still a charge input. I think you have to charge for 35 frames, and you can obviously do it during other attacks too. So like if I jump in the air and hold down right away, I can land and do spinning bird kicks immediately. She has Hazanshu, same input, quarter circle back kick. And she can also break this. So if I hold the rev button while doing Hazanshu, she like feints it, which is pretty sick. 100 lightning kicks if you do the rev version. She can also break this too. I already talked about Tensho kicks a bit, but I wanted to show that it's breakable, right? A lot of moves in this game can be canceled or braked or feinted, right? And the idea is that if you stop the move early, it leads to different combo opportunities. For Chun Li, it's the heavy Tensho kicks and the EX ones that can be braked. All right, so these are the full versions. That's the braked version. Same thing with that. And those are Chun-Li's moves. She doesn't have her same stance from Street Fighter 6, where she like sits down with her arms up. So that'll be missing. Instead, like I mentioned before, they focused on her mobility. I'm assuming the air game is going to be pretty huge on this character. And then having a walking fireball, or not having to charge through your fireball, is a big detail. I'm curious about how much that's going to affect how people play with this character. Obviously, City of the Wolves is a different game altogether, but I really want to see how players will use that, especially if they've played Chun Li in Street Fighter titles. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching this early access video. We'll also be doing a live stream when the character fully releases, and in that live stream we can look at the combo trials, the tutorials, and kind of give you a better look at the character. Until then, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.